Tonight, thank you for joining us. Tonight is umpisa ulit nung front of house natin. So we do have alternate shows. So yung shows natin are Mobile Mondays on a Monday, first and third week, and you've etong front of house focusing on yung mga industry personalities natin sa live sound. Um, and this would happen second and fourth week. I did that para lang hindi ako ma-stress masyado. Anyway, thank you for being here, and thank you for setting aside your time. Hey, Mr. Joseph Santos, welcome. And hey guys, do tell us where you are para makamusta naman namin kayo. And if you do have questions for Mark, just put it in the chat, and we'll get to it around towards the end of the show. Anyway, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest, a good friend of mine, and we've worked a couple of times. No, a lot of times we worked together, and so it was such a thing for me to invite him over. So itong si ating guest. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Mr. Mark Laccay. Hey, Mark. There you go. Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Mark, thank you
Uh,
for.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Basta,
Kasi,
basta, of course, siyempre, Forerunner Technologies, si Mario Benifayo. Oo lahat. Oo,
okay.
lagi yun.
Thank you, pare. Thank you. Mutual admiration lang tayo. But ano nga parang and yun nga, I was apologizing to our guests to our listeners kanina na screw up, in my mind it was 9, and yung pala tayo nagkakwentuhan pa, then yung pala 8 na nakalagay. I'm sorry, but probably let's just make it official. I'll probably just do it 8 para maaga tayo makatulog, no? So, anyway,
Okay yan.
alam mo kami ni Mark, ano yung guy, everyone, kami ni Mark, our paths have crossed a long time ago, and probably yun nga, isa sa mga pinakamasayang ano yun, because although we came from different backgrounds, musikero yan si Mark, ako mobile DJ, mobile, galing sa mobile, but yun na nga yun yung progressions namin eventually, nagtagpo kami, and decades later, ito kami doing a show na parang, and gusto ko lang ma-share yung mga kwento niya, because I think Mark Mark has always been happy, sa background lang yan, tahimik. Although, minsan pa ganyan, but yung limelight, hindi naman niya hinahabol. So now I want to, gusto ko lang siya ilagay sa isang place na mako-corner natin siya, pwede natin tanong.
Corner talaga.
But before that, Alex Parpan, hello, how are you? Miss Blanca Bukaw, Bambi Bukaw, how are you?
Si Bambi.
Leopoldo Cabuk, si Leo Cabuang, and Garrett Gregorio, yung head tech ng RSL, one of the better sound systems of our industry. Yeah, so Mark, what are you doing nowadays? Dinistorbo kita.
Nowadays, nag-aalaga ng magulang. Tsaka nag-aalaga ng mga mga family matters and family businesses.
Okay.
Hindi na magampanan ng senior citizens. So, yun, basically nagsasaka.
Yes, and that's yung part, maraming tanong niya, ano yung farmer doon? Sabi ko, no, he's a real farmer. Diba? Parang, But ano ba yan, yung pag-asikaso mo nung family business niyo naman, it happened during the pandemic or even before that na
even before, right before the pandemic, I was trying to transition already. Kasi nga, my parents were my father was sickly, and then my parents are getting old. So it is by default na ako yung eldest, and ako lang yung lalaking anak na natira dito sa Pilipinas, kasi yung ibang mga kapatid ko they're based abroad. So yun, it's only right na ano, uh,
Uh,
asikasuhin ko. Yeah, I'd step up to the plate, kumbaga.
mm,
Tapos yun, sa ang ano naman ng sinasabi naman, tinatanong sa akin, "Oh, alam mo ba yan? Ano yung ginagawa mo?" Kahit dun sa probinsya. Well, yun nga eh. I'm bringing something new to the table in the agriculture industry, at least dun sa town namin. And then, basically management, farm management, people management. Kung anong natutunan ko dito sa industriya natin ng audio, yun yung, at pelikula, yun din yung dinadala ko doon sa pagmamanage ng mga tao, pagmamanage ng mga produkto. Kasi ang bigas naman, ang palay naman yun naman ang nagpaaral sa amin magkakapatid. Ang agriculture ang nagpaaral sa amin magkakapatid. So, yun yung dapat, gusto ko lang ibalik doon.
Ibalik. Oo.
Yeah.
Ano nga naman. But is it a long ride? You have Vizcaya, di ba? So you do back and forth.
Oo, 6 to 7 hours, depende kung sa pace ko. On average, it's 6 hours. Of course, with the now open NLEX, SCTEX, TPLEX link, mas madali ng biyahe. Unlike before, inaabot kami ng mga 8 hanggang 10 oras. Dahil sa Philippine Pacific Highway.
Okay. So, at least not improvement sa infrastructure. Actually, yun nga, sometimes you just want, minsan pag parang itong mga nangyayaring infrastructure improvements parang pag na-experience mo, then you get to really appreciate it pag
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, let's get to the fun stuff, yung bakit tayo dito. Diba? So, Mark, yung a lot of, like, even I would like to know kasi tayo nagkailan, but I know you're a musician, and yun na nga, syempre yung tayo mas nagkasama tayo sa live sound, but which triggered which? Yeah, I mean, ano ba yung nauna? Your interest in live sound, in pro audio, or yung musikero?
Interest in music kasi hobby yun eh. Magmula ng grade school, I started out picking up an instrument grade 4, grade 5, ganyan. Kasi kasama din sa curriculum namin sa Ateneo ng araw, sa grade school. And then, nagkaroon ako ng isang lehitimong banda ng grade 6, grade 7, ganyan na. Incidentally, yung mga kasama ko dun sa banda, medyo professional people na ngayon ng eksena ng music. Si Mike Elgar was my guitarist in back in the day, who's now the guitarist and one of the songwriters for River Maya. Bali magkabanda kami noon, grade 7 hanggang second year college yata, something like that. Tagal din. Tapos yun, nauna yung pagiging musikero bago yung pagkukumpuni ng gamit. Pero kasi kaya ako naging interesante dun sa audio production, audio engineering side of it. Because of my cousin, si Jeremy Diab. Na may mga mobile din siyang sinasamahan nung time ninyo. At close siya with the Cordero brothers, si Nicky tsaka kay Lawrence of
Sonoros.
Yes. So kaya ako nakakasama-sama, nakakapasok sa mga high school dance ninyo.
Yun lang naman gusto natin dati, makalibre pasok di ba?
Libre
pasok. Ilang kahon pasok na ako
hindi, pero yun nga, nagkakarga ng gamit, nagkakabit ng kable. Yun naman, doon naman tayo nag-umpisa lahat nagkakarga ng gamit, nagkakabit ng kable, ano pa ba? Eventually, natuto mag-solda. Ganun. Mag-solda ng mga wirings.
Ma'am, kita ka.
And then,
that was funny. Okay.
Ayun. And then, yun, ano pa ba? And then,
but then again, you gamit. Yeah. But then you think, para bang it was, being a musician, tapos doing live sound, was it, I'm sure it's a big plus, no? Yung understanding mo Di ba?
O napagdikit ko yung dalawang interests. Kumbaga, how do the question always pops up na paano pinoproduce yung tunog na yon, di ba? So paano pinoproduce ang paano yung understanding of equalization, understanding of how signal flow, dun ko natutunan sa pag pag-observe dun sa pagbuo ng equipment during your mobile days. Uh, so eventually, which led me to yung sumasama-sama dun sa headquarters ng Sonorous, kasi dun talaga binabaklas talaga yung gamit. Di ba? Binabaklas yung speakers from the boxes. Nakikita kung paano nagto-troubleshoot si Nikki Cordero ng Delta, di ba? Delta na mixer, binubuksan, tinitingnan kung ano yung, kasi modular, di ba?
Modular. Yeah.
Modular. So, pwede niyang kalasin anytime he wants to. At ayusin kung ano mang kailangan ayusin doon. So, doon ako na-expose talaga. Electronics and then, siyempre, bata ka nun eh. Tanong ka lang ng tanong eh. Hanggang dumating yung punto na, sige nga, harap nga ako salang nga ako sa ginagawa nyo. Pero, at the same time, I was also with the band scene. I was playing professionally with several friends in the scene. It wasn't just yung mga school fairs, pero we were playing in clubs, we were playing in the old Timog Club Red scene, the rock scene. We were playing in other schools, hindi lang sa school namin, pero outside na rin, na-i-invite na rin tumugtog, compete. Usong-uso pa nun yung mga band competitions sa araw.
This is during the late 80s, right? Mga ganyan yung
80s, early 90s.
Oh. I mean, those times were really, ewan ko, pagtatandaan ko nga parang yung ang daming creative juices na lumabas nun because the bands were, just keep on coming out. Tapos may mga iba nga that had the break, di ba? And yes, you were in the middle of that.
As a musician, we were also trying our luck, getting signed, writing our own songs, trying to get signed, trying to get recorded. We were also on TV several times. We were playing in clubs, not just the rock clubs, but also the old Ozone Disco had these band nights. So we were in that lineup as well before it burned down. So yun, hindi, mga tipong ganun. Kasi yun nga, we were trying, every musician was trying their luck to get to the limelight. Those times.
And there were a lot of venues talagang to highlight your di ba? Could you give me kasi yun nga, since I wasn't really much in the band scene, like what were the venues then? Ano yung matandaan mo mga venues? Kasi syempre, diba?
You have your rock venues like the old Club Red in Timog, you have Mayrix, saan pa ba? 70s Bistro, which is still alive now. There was the old Chatterbox Pizza on West Avenue. There was the bigger venue beside it, yung Campo.
Oh yeah,
Ano pa ba? Of course, the old Ozone Disco. Yun yung mga
I think this was the time
Quezon City pa nga lang yun eh. Quezon City pa nga lang yun.
I believe this was also the time na parang kahit may mga discos, discos were napapansin na nga nila na parang people were shifting, so they had to incorporate bands into their yung schedule nila, di ba? Parang kasi nag-ano na eh, no?
And di ba pag weekends, di ba sila Weekends Live, Atrium, tapos meron pa dun sa Palangka yung Calye Bar. That was the Makati southern side of Manila na rin.
Uh-huh.
So yun nga hindi ang daming venues. So there was no excuse nung panahon na yun na hindi hindi ka nagbabanda,
Napapaging.
'di ba?
Diba? Parang feeling mo, parang ba't wala kami labas ngayong weekend?
Oo. Hindi. Andun lahat, 'di ba? Kung hindi ka man tutugtog, nando'n ka nanonood ng ibang banda.
Yeah, for the no. And I believe the band scene during that time, kayo mismo the bands were pretty much close with each other also. You know, they're
barkada rin lahat kasi once na nagkita-kita sa isang malaking tugtugan tulad ng UP Fair o kaya UP Mountaineers, andun na rin lahat, 'di ba? Parang sama-sama inuman, islaman.
Islam.
Gano'n.
I could remember kasi nung kami rin, 'di ba? Parang yun nga, parang on our side naman yung nagsusupply ng sound system from mobile, then there came a point, teka lang, kailangan mo na i-entertain yung inquiries na kailangan mo i-serve yung live band, hindi na yung hindi yung tugtog lang ng DJ all night. So kaya parang kami rin, 'di ba? I think sabay-sabay tayo natutuloy doon because there was a constant stream of events na ito na yung pagkakataon mo. Well, for us, yun, matuto ka sa mixer. For you, it's either ikaw ang tumutugtog o inaalagaan mo yung tumutugtog.
Yes. Kaya rin, well, aksidente nga lang yun na I think I was at the right place and at the right time in that era. Kaya nakakuha ng trabaho. Tinuring ko na trabaho nung mga panahon na yun. My band was guesting on a certain show doon sa RSVP. You remember that? Direct si
I remember that. Crush ko si Don.
Di ba? Rich Infante yung director mo. And incidentally, ang nag-OJT sa TV show na yun, guest kami noon. Tumugtog kami sa slot na yun, sa show na yun. Because they were featuring bands. Kasi nga, sabi mo nga kanina, the band scene was booming that time, early 90s. And incidentally, ang nag-OJT dun sa particular show na yun, si Raymond Marasigan ng Eraserheads.
Nag-OJT siya?
Kasi Mascom yun eh.
Okay.
Mascom si Raymond. So, OJT niya sa GMA. And then, dun sa show na yun, sa RSVP, kilala ko na siya dahil nga nakakasama namin sa mga tugtugan sa UP, sa Club Red, sa kung saan-saan. Tapos, yun, nakita niya na we all hit it off that time na parang may ginagawa kasi kami album ganyan. So nood ka rin sa amin minsan. So I think that was the time we frequently hung out kasi nga nakita niya yung tugtugan namin na parang walang keyboardista, marunong din mag-keyboard yun, magaling mag-keyboards yun. So, naging kabanda ko rin siya yung time na yun in my band. He was the keyboard player for that band. And then, sumasama, in turn, I was returning the favor. Sumasama-sama din ako sa kanila sa Eraserheads, pero wala pa silang album nun eh.
Talagang
na mga 91 siguro yun.
UP band pa lang sila to. Like, sa campus band pa lang.
Yes. So, yun yung eventually it turned out na parang signed pala sila, nagre-record pala sila. Yun, sumasama-sama lang din kasi
okay na.
Kabanda ko nga siya.
Okay, mga opportunities na gano'n. Parang, yun nga, sometimes you do yung pupunta ka sa isang lugar and pretty much labas ka lang na labas. Because you don't know. Baka nandun yung, like opportunity. You get to meet someone or may nangyari, well, I've got a similar thing. Pero yun na nga yun. Diba? So yung ano na yun, yung with the band scene happening and you were, of course, you've got school, you've got
Oh, I was in high school.
playing in a band, di ba? Kamusta ba yung ano? Kamusta ba yung I mean, how was that with your parents? I'm just curious
Ah,
because, di ba?
wala yung parents ko dito sa Maynila eh.
Ah,
'Di ba
okay.
kasi nga they practice their careers in the province. My dad is a farmer and he used to work with the DNR. My mom's
Oh, okay.
a doctor,
Oh,
doctor to the
okay.
barrios. So doon sila nagpa-practice ng careers nila. So dito kaming magkakapatid sa Maynila pinaaral.
Uh,
Uh, and then of course our extracurricular activities kanya-kanyang diskarte. Pero we always made it a point na siyempre ang responsibilidad namin ay kaya kami nandito sa Maynila is mag-aral. So, uh, we
yeah.
tried to, I particularly tried to balance it.
Oh, yeah. I think that, yeah, that would, of course, in some ways, para for us, for others, parang, huy, wala yung magutom dito. But,
Yeah,
I mean, importante lang naman, although yun na nga yun eh, you balanced it eh. No?
yeah.
And of course,
Nakatapos naman.
nakatapos.
Nakatapos.
On time ba?
Hindi, 1 year late kasi dahil sa ROTC. I held it off. Hindi kasi, ito yun, hindi ako nag-ROTC ng regular block dahil or regular classes kasi Sabado yun. Eh di ba
Mhm.
nga working student ako nung college.
Ah,
And
okay.
yung trabaho namin weekends eh, di ba? Nagigig, nagko-concert ang
Yeah.
heads nung ng weekend. So syempre, Friday ng gabi, umaalis na kami kasi out of town yung mga gigs ng weekends eh.
Mm.
Sa backpack ako nakatira nung college ko. Tipong last class ng Friday,
Uh-huh.
didiretso ako ng airport.
Oo.
Damit ko, nasa backpack ko na.
Sibat na eh, no?
Sibat na. Last flight out of Manila. And then, sa Monday morning, first flight in.
Mhm.
Diretso na
Yung-
ng klase. Sa, sa Maynila.
I mean, well, sorry, but if you could again put a timeline on, I mean, the scene, kumbaga. So, who were the other bands during this time na,
Well, aside from the Eraserheads, who I was hired during 92.
Mhm.
Even before the first album came out. Iba pa yung manager nila noon. So, the nine, so nung time na yon, wala pa ring River Maya rin noon eh.
Uh-huh.
Yung pagkakatanda ko kasi the first gig of River Maya, uh, front act sila ng head somewhere in the south. I think Parañaque or Las Piñas yata yun.
Uh-huh.
So, yun yung yun yung wala ka pa rin noon sa kanila. O hindi pa hindi pa yata nasa sign
Yeah, hindi.
Yung River Maya.
Because I remember the shows in I don't know if it's the same. I believe it's the same timeline. Yun nga yung maraming shows din sa UP, Sunken Garden,
Yes.
in particular, di ba? And you'd always have like, Green Department, Team Titikbalang,
multiple bands
yeah,
talagang.
di ba? Laging
Talagang
multiple bands.
5 in the afternoon hanggang 2 in the morning yung tugtugan.
Yeah.
And na tig 2 songs lang, 3 songs. Ganon karaming banda.
And would you think na parang, I don't know, OPM has always been, in my mind na parang, okay, ano ba yung OPM? Ano ba yung OPM? Pero, so there was an OPM in the 70s. Was there, kasi again, you were more, nakikita mo yung music scene eh. Was that the time when, like parang yung music ng, all of this youth, young bands just came out of every college. Tapos parang everyone, and yung talent na lumabas nun was, I mean, everyone had a song that was great. Alam mo yun? Yung parang ganun eh. Parang tuwan-tuwa ako dun sa time na yun eh. Kasi it wasn't, yeah, some were doing covers, but some were just doing their own thing. Na parang may sense eh. I mean, you hear their song and talagang alam mo, ay, pasinulat nila to.
Oh, you'd attribute that also to the times wherein the radio station, the local radio station, played originals.
Mm.
Like
Laking tulong pala nun.
NU
Oo.
107, LA 105, yan. Laking tulong ng mga yan. Kasi
Oo.
ano talaga parang pinagbigyan nila sa airwaves kung saan hirap na hirap mag-airplay sa ibang radio stations.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Oo nga, no?
ang radio, FM radio lang naman ang form of entertainment natin dati kung hindi di ba? Kung hindi ka
True, true.
kolektor ng mga cassettes at mga plaka, uh, next na accessible na ng music is on MTV or the radio.
Mm.
Sa MTV international naman yun, wala naman.
Oo.
Wala naman local programming ng mga araw na yun.
Kaya siguro birth of mix dahil na rin doon, di ba?
Yes.
Okay. But so and then was there a time that you were doing more more the technical than the sound, the music, or pretty much halos sabayan nangyari?
Nung when Eraserhead started touring, I started to get serious with the technical stuff. I was being mentored by your mentor as well, si Nicky Cordero.
Yes.
Kasi it was a different understanding of music production. His was very technical. His was on the job training, but at the same time, application of what you've learned through his whole day rants and kwentuhan is applied at night. Kasi literally magkakasama kami buong araw kasi andun ako sa bodega nila nakatambay. Pinapanood kung paano kalasin yung mga mixer, pinapanood kung paano ka. That's where I understood how to wire up and troubleshoot big amplifiers, big speakers, big desk mixers, and how your processors work. Yun yung talagang pinasasalamat ko kay Nicky. Nagkaroon siya ng tiyagang magturo sa amin hanggang tanong lang ng tanong. Diba? Nung time na wala namang eskwelahan para dun sa ginagawa natin and you were doing an excellent job as well kasi sa airport tayo nagkikita, nagko-compare tayo ng notes sa kalsada tayo nagkikita sa likod ng venue, di ba? We were doing shows na back to back. Heads saka River Maya,
yeah. I mean, like, I gotta tell you, like, dati, I'd also like to give you a sense na yung our listeners. No? So, time na yun, Mark was handling Eraserheads. And ako naman, with also a good friend of ours, si Jordi Cui, we were doing River Maya. And kami lang, Mark, magkikita kami sa airport. Oh, saan kayo ngayon? Okay, sige. Okay. Then, eventually, next week, oh, saan kayo? So, parang, and there were shows na parang, yun nga, magkasama tayo.
Tulad ng Quezon. Diba? Naalala mo yun, yung parang Gym. Sunog yung electrical dibong. Yung, di ba? Sunog yung, tapos yung sound, hindi tayo makapag-sound check dahil sunog yung buong circuit breaker ng venue. Diba?
But then again, you made it work. I mean, like, we the technical team would make it work, di ba? Whatever, di ba? And then, totoo nga during that time, everything was pretty crude, di ba? Lalo kung may maiwanan kang gamit, walang Grab magpapadala sa'yo.
Walang cellphone. Nagawa ng paraan, bibili ka ng gamit doon sa tapos pa dudugtong mo.
Totoo, di ba? Parang that was, yeah. I remember even we did when the River Maya had their major concert, di ba? And E-Heads ang one of the front acts pa nga was E-Heads din sa Cuneta Astrodome. That was fun. That was crazy.
E-Heads, River Maya, True Faith.
True Faith. Yeah. Oo.
Tapos kasama si Michael V tsaka si Ogie ng
Yeah,
Babongga.
oo, oo.
Naalala ko
Ah,
yun.
ano ba yun? May ginawa silang kanta dun sa Himala eh. Pero,
Himala.
palaka yata eh. But, pero yun nga, but you as a FO, front of house guy, the show, yeah. As a front of house guy, being a musician actually put you in a better position to actually serve yung mga, of course, the band's playing.
Yes.
Were you like always like, okay, ganito dapat tunog noon, itong drums, ito yung tunog noon,
I
ganun.
would
You were,
base it on taste. Kasi
uh,
heavy listener ako. Yung training ko bilang musikero trained me to listen to a whole array of band music, from
mm,
new wave to iba-ibang genre, rock, ganyan. Siyempre, ang Eraserheads naman wala namang ibang ibang katulad yun na international eh. Paghahalu-haluin mo rin talaga eh. There's
uh,
yung influence nila. Kaya maganda rin sumasama ako sa interviews nila. Influence pala nila yung The Cure. Influence pala ng songwriting ni Ellie ay merong The Smiths, merong Beatles, merong iba-iba. Talaga.
uh,
So,
uh,
inobliga ko rin talaga yung sarili ko makinig ng mga yun. Tsaka yung live, live versions ng mga kanta sa album kasi yung sa album iba yung music production nun uh, kumpara dun sa live. So inobliga ko yung sarili ko maghanap ng mga live albums, pakinggan paano yung music production ng live, and then the serving the bands that time, yun really pushed me to research on how to do it.
mm-hmm.
Kasi wala eh. Walang ibang way. There was no other way that time. Wala naman internet nun.
Yeah.
Bibili ka ng tape. Maghahanap ka ng tape sa kalsada, sa record bar, whatever you get your hands on. You to perfect your craft, to put more sense in what you're doing. Gagawa ka ng paraan. Tapos, ang advantage ko bilang isang musikero at isang technician na may mentor, punta ako sa bodega. Hindi, paano ba to? Ba't ganun yung tunog nun? Ganun. Iba bass guitar lang naman yun. How does it sound that big? Yun. Tapos, i-explain niya. You have to compress it in order for the sound to cut through. Ganun. Paano yun? Paano yung ratio, attack, and paano yung timpla ng ratio, attack, threshold nun sa compressor? Subukan mo. And that was the advantage back then. I had equipment at my disposal after my mentor explained it.
And then, you know, every gig is a classroom, di ba? Parang, yeah, yung everything you could, pwedeng yung practical application gagawin mo na during the gig.
So, bago mag-gig, na-ensayo ko na dun sa bodega. So, parang there's less mistake now dun sa gig. Mas hindi nakakahiya dun sa kliyente, di ba? Or sa banda. Or sa tao na nakikinig, di ba?
Yeah, true.
So, yun yung advantage nung
yung situation na yan, di ba?
Yung sitwasyon,
Oo, di ba? But yeah, I guess, yeah, I mean, I could, you on that, I agree on you on that one. Kasi yun na nga yun eh, we, like having a mentor like Nikki who kind of pushed you and yun nga, explain, he does, anuhin niya yung panahon para i-explain ka sa'yo. Pero nasa sa'yo na yun, paano mo susubukan, di ba? And pag nandun nga sa labas. Kaya those events are really, buti nga lang, we were at the middle of that time na yun nga, maraming banda, maraming events, and you know, and at that point, most bands also did not have, they had roadies. Bihira yung merong magbibitbit talaga ng tech. They would only have roadies, and roadies would just basically say up, down, hinaan or whatever. Pero Oo, pero in as far as the overall, wala talaga. Everyone, practically everyone was learning during that
Yeah.
time. Yung
Yeah.
mga ano na yun.
And
Kaya nga,
if you can pop up that photo of
oh,
the
oh yeah, yeah.
mixer where we learned on.
Okay, okay. Let me, ano that. Ito nga nung pinasa sa
Eh,
akin ni Mark, natawa ako because, yeah, dito kami natuto rin. Yan.
it's very crude, di ba?
Yeah, that
Parang
was a Soundcraft Delta. 24 channels,
24 channels,
4 auxes, 4 subgroups.
four auxiliaries and four subgroups.
Uh,
Ah, tapos pag dual band setup, either maghahanap ka ng ibang mixer na isasabay mo dyan or gagawa mo ng paraan dyan.
iba paraan, di ba? Para ano. I
So,
mean, yeah, kaya nga, iba, parang the guys of today, even the most compact mixer would,
oo,
especially the digital mixers, would have at least 6 or 8 auxiliaries.
auxiliaries, yes.
We were fighting we were working on with 4. Na isa pa
Four
doon,
auxiliaries.
nung panahon ng aux-fed subs. Di ba?
Walang
Oh,
aux-fed subs nun. Di ba? Walang aux-fed subs.
wala pa nga.
Titimplahin mo talaga yung crossover ng maayos para magkaroon ng oomph yung low
Oh,
end
kaya na.
mo.
Oh, God. And we didn't even have high-pass filters in
Wala.
channels, you know?
Wala pa.
Or switchable lang, and that was it.
Oh,
You know,
switchable. Tapos yung naalala ko to, yung board na to, hindi 1, 2, 3, 4 ang grouping yan. It's just 1,
yeah,
2, 3, and 4. Tapos ipapan mo ng left to
papan.
right
Yeah.
yung assignment.
Oo.
Tapos may, yun nga, sabi ni Yordi, yung 4 auxiliaries niyan, yung isa nun, obligadong effects.
FX pa.
Di ba? So, it leaves you with 3. Gagawan mo talaga ng paraan kung paano mo hihingi ng ano, di ba?
Yeah. Oh my
Kung
God.
paano hihingi ng monitor yung ilan yung band members mo. At the very least, 4. Wala nang 3, power trio nun tulad ng Juan de la Cruz. Wala na. So, Eraserheads were 4 members. So, literally, hihingi yan ng monitoring. That was the challenge in our time na ano mo gagawa ng paraan mo.
Well, then again, you know, like I think yeah, everyone was starting, and pretty much even monitor mix was a concept like pretty far, you know, like to even
foreign
do.
show concept yun di ba?
Pang foreign yun. So, yabang mo pag humingi ka ng monitor mix. So everything just worked out of, you know, like a mixer such as this na 4 aux. Yeah, 4 aux was, I don't even know kung merong ano to meron bang walang switchable, di ba? 4, 5, 3, 4 to 5, 6, wala pa to
Wala. Pero meron
aux.
siyang nandito sa taas ng groupings, meron siyang ang tawag doon,
Matrix
out. Diyan,
yeah.
Diyan lang naman pag kinalabit ka ng MTV tsaka radio station, diyan mo sila i-hook up
Di ba? Yung lalapit sa iyo.
Yun na lang yun, sir.
Sir,
ba't ngayon ka lang pumunta? 5 minutes na lang magsho-show na tayo.
Signal.
Ako ikakabit yan.
Well, I mean, I remember nga na parang ito, somehow during that time, ito medyo angat na to. Di ba? We had worse mixers like the...
Oo, sa probinsya.
Like the SEC. yung SEC.
Phoenix. Yung mga worst mixers sa mga probinsya.
Mga Ross. Oh, God, di ba?
Not for anything, pero I even encountered yung mga Roon brands na local lang yung gawa. Or DJ mixers na fader lang. Low-high.
Tapos nagkataon lang may microphone input, di ba? Yung
yan. Oo. Sa mga probinsya lalo na, the farthest ends of Philippines. And we were fortunate enough to tour those.
Yeah.
Even before the roads were cemented.
I remember driving to Bicol That was
Magkakasama
crazy.
tayo nun.
Gano'n,
Diba?
yun yung parang walang katapusang kalye na parang, ba't ko ba ginagawa 'to? And
Tas
then,
high ace na walang
ayun,
cellphone.
oo. Tapos pagdating mo dun, magse-setup ka pa, magte-tech ka pa. So, yeah, it was like, yeah, those were the days. Parang pero yeah, but we were lucky to have mixers like these kasi other than that, it was, yeah, lower level mixers or whatever.
Yan,
So,
para hindi ma-bore yung ibang tao. Yung ibang photos din,
di ba?
to get you interested.
Oh,
Ay, ano na ba
mamaya yan,
yan?
pare.
Mamaya na
Mamaya.
yan.
Siskip ka. Ito, pare.
Ito.
Yeah,
Yan.
this was the Eraserheads
First
cassette.
album.
Mukhang cassette ano to
Cassette cover yan.
Uh-huh.
Yun yung sinasabi ko na ano.
Ito yung electromagnetic pop.
Ultra electromagnetic pop. Wala pa silang album. Andun na ako. And that particular photo, we were crammed in a taxi cab to go to Pasig. Sabi ng BMG. Punta kayo Pasig, ganitong oras, ganyan. Ako, alam mo naman ako, tag-along lang naman ako noon eh. So that particular photo, I was there during that photo shoot. So even before the first album, I was tagging along with the guys already. Si Dodong Biray pa yung manager nila, hindi pa si Ann. This particular photo was taken by Super Mitch ng DWKC.
Okay.
DJ siya ng DWKC, tapos photographer naman pala din siya. Doon sila pinapunta ng BMG. Tag along.
Well, interesting. Sabi mo, Dodong, di ba, meron na rin siyang banda, di ba, nung time na yun?
Hindi si Dodong the Youth.
Sorry.
Iba yung si Dodong Biray. Dodong Biray was one of the... Uy, si Nikki. Hi, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki!
Yan yung mentor namin. Si
Cassius Cordero. Yan.
Mr. Cordero.
Mentor natin yan.
So, yun. Si Dodong Biray was an old guy. One of the old punk guys that worked in the music industry, that worked as an A&R. Sa Alpha yata yun, or Vicor. Tapos, he eventually was able to get the Eraserhead signed to BMG. With the help of another old friend, si Robbie Sunico, who was managing Eraserheads. At that time, they were signed.
Kumbaga yung ano ba, when Eraserheads was discovered, kumbaga, all of these songs were already part of their yung lineup nila. Talagang kinakanta na nila yan.
Oo, naririnig ko na yan eh. Na yung mga kinakanta nila yung mga yan. Yung nandito specifically sa first album. Pero I came in the heads nung naka-record na sila. Naka-record na sila, but hindi pa nare-release. So they were in the process of having all these photo shoots taken, binili-out pa lang yung album cover na yan. etc. So,
and this was again during the time na when all of these bands were coming up, tapos parang yung scene was so alive na, and everyone was the lucky ones were getting signed.
Yes. And isa sa mga revolutionary rock revolutionary bands tong Eraserheads release na to. It paved the way to the band scene being in the limelight again. Kasi nung mga time na yan, ano ba, Ariel Rivera, mga Manilyn Reynes, mga gano'n yung naririnig ko sa airwaves.
Okay.
Yun yung OPM nung time na yan.
Okay.
Naalala ko pa nga yung A&R ng BMG was also, labas natin yung heads, but I'm looking for another Ariel Rivera or Regine Velasquez.
There were talaga, parang, actually, hindi mo matatanggal talaga sa Pinoy mga love song eh. Yung mga magkakanta na solo and
Richard Reynoso, yan.
Yan. I was trying to remember that name, buti nabanggit mo. Yeah, Richard Reynoso. Yan yung mga ganun klase.
Yung ganung panahon na yan.
Oo. Parang gano'n, and then yun nga, nababanggit nga ni Noel Abuel yung mga alamid, 'di ba? And
Yes, Alamid
I guess
was Athena's curse back then. Hindi pa
ah,
sila Alamid.
yun ba yun? Okay, I
Oo,
know of
sila din
Athena's Curse, but okay, sila pala yun.
sila din 'yon. Oo.
Oo. I remember
'Yun,
the
barkada rin namin 'yun sa lumang club
oh,
rin.
kasi yun rin yung mga time niyan, alam mo, intro voice, actually,
Actually, signed na nga 'yun eh.
sa
Inter Boys, The Dawn, 'di ba? Inter
uh-huh,
Boys, The
uh-huh.
Dawn. Uh,
I think the Dawn and yung mga katulad ng After Image, they were like a bit before, 'di ba? Kasi parang may
before.
new wave influences talaga sila
Yes.
noon eh. Punk and ano eh, no?
Yes, yes.
So how does it feel to when you handled these bands, you're at front of house and they were there, they were playing. Tapos syempre parang since alam mo na nasa line up and you binalabas mo sa sa house system yung
Mm.
interpretation mo no kung ano.
Ah,
How does it feel? Ano iba rin yung gratification pag alam mo yung audience na appreciate nila ano, yung parang bang
oo
ramdam
kasi
mo sa audience na gustuhan nila no?
oo, mas masaya yung audience na yun yung gauge ko for instant gratification. Right
Uh-huh.
there and then. Eh, ngayon nga lang eh, di ba? Yung instant gratification ng mga bata ngayon, pag nag-post sila, ang daming nagla-like o ang daming nagpa-follow, di ba?
Okay.
Yung maraming nagpa-follow na yun,
Uh,
naintindihan nila yung music dun sa concert venue. Nagtatatalon sila, naghahagis ng mga upuan, nagsusunog sila dun. Yun yung mga likes namin noon. Di ba? Parang
okay.
wow, naintindihan na. And they were
Uh,
singing along. The whole gymnasium was singing
yeah.
along. The
Yeah.
whole Burnham Park was singing along, di ba?
Yeah, 'di ba? Napupuno 'yun dati, 'di ba?
Oh.
Tapos syempre yung mga iba pa napipilit umakyat sa barikada or even umakyat sa stage para lang, you know that they're having fun, 'di ba? Parang ganun.
Yes.
That's yeah, I think every guy talaga yun nga naman. Kasi syempre ikaw titimpla ka. The thing is, you do a good job, you work on trying to bring out that great song, the song in a good way. Pero magkaroon ka lang ng isang pito, for some reason, lahat ng tao titingin na agad sa'yo.
Yes.
It's like, napaka-mortal sin ang ginawa mo. Parang, yung 10 magandang ginawa mo, wala na yun.
Alam nila kung nasan yung tech booth.
Oo, di ba?
Tingin sila sa yung ganun.
Biglang yung mga katabi mo, biglang nag-step back. Iniwan ka dun sa, mga ganun.
Yan.
That was great. I mean, like, yun nga yung mga, kalokohan nun eh. No? But then again, yun na nga yun eh, to handle the bands and ako parang when you were explaining yung reference mo and bringing them out and talking about the influence stuff like that, I go like, oh god, ang babaw ko kasi I wasn't a musician, so parang ako basically I try to get hold of the song that they did and just try to my best to bring it out that way, di ba? Parang ganun eh. So,
Pero I was sa akin, I was looking up to you as well kasi you came in earlier than me and you were more familiar with technicals.
uh,
So
well,
kahit
thank you.
napapansin mo nun pag nagkakasabay tayo. Inuupuan din kita, parang I was looking over your back. Paano niya pinapalabas yun? I was taking references left and right for
Mm.
me to improve my skill set. Kasi nga, I would take every chance to get mentored by whoever that is experienced. Walang eskwelahan eh. Walang magtuturo sa akin nun eh.
Yeah.
Later part na lang of my uh, audio audio engineering life na we took up lessons. We took up talagang sit-down classes with the greats as well, with the
Yeah.
Filipino greats like Mike Pedero, Dar Quintos, Nicky Cordero, Martin Galan, Jigs Hermanos. Yan yung mga nagtayo ng school eventually.
Yeah. Ay, yun nga yun, parang
Andrew Sevilla,
the Sevilla.
which I learned a lot about electronics.
Oh.
Yun. Sorry, you were saying.
I mean, like, dun nga sa, I had this I did this video nga para for some guys that wanted to ask the question, how do you get in, kind of this career, di ba? And sabi ko, one of the things I said, just kasi nga ultimately you will be, kumbaga, I mean, just like in any school, sige, you could always get as much theoretical as you can, pero at the end of the day, it's how you apply it eh. So kaya sabi ko nga sa kanila, I mean, dun sa video I said, take as much experience as you can. Na kahit nga tayo, di ba, we tag along with some other rental companies before, just get exposure, makilala mo lang yung banda, makilala mo yung, you get to know yung, quirks nila, ano yung setup nila, di ba? Or, yun nga, I mean, like, just anything, just to get experience, just to get, just that chance to mix. Kasi dati, again, ilan lang yung rental companies dati that actually did bands, and mas konti lalo yung papayagang sumingit ka, di ba? So, there's nothing like the practical, practical, talaga, just being there, and nasa sayo na lang yun. While being there, you observe, and depende na kung matutunan mo doon. Nasa sayo na yun. You try to pick it up.
Yeah. Also, ano pa ba? Yan. Maybe we'd like to, kasi may mga tanong na sila Rico, si Jeremy.
But you know what? Let's acknowledge muna some of the guys that are with us now, para magano tayo. Ryan Lacano, how are you?
Si Brutus, ano yan? Batang 90s din yan. You used to be the drummer of Tropical Depression.
Okay, I think, I remember.
Tropical Depression, Utreska, yan. So yan.
Jonathan, how are you? Ramil, Jeremy.
Mas Jeremy Diab.
Jeremy, ikaw yan, Jeremy.
Early part of the show, we were talking about you, pare.
Yeah, Jeremy, kamusta? Wow, okay. Nola Buel, Ryan Lacano, Rico Bicol, how are you? Buti nakasama ka, I thought you were busy. Alex Parpan, one of the later guys of Sonoros, how are you? May Padilla, Arlan Sugay, ito na yung mga bagong mga ngayon, front of us. And of course, my good friend, you are Diqui, kung marami yung pinagdaanan yan.
Carlo Samson, isa sa mga techno heads yan, sila Toti Dalmacion kasama mo.
Oh yeah.
Carlo Samson.
Rog, kamusta? Nikki, how are you?
Tiglao, hello, shout out. Michael Mejia, isa sa mga old time production managers, stage managers. Now we also work in the live events industry aside from the band scene, di ba? We were doing side projects with events companies during those times. Since the skill set we acquired during our band servicing, we applied in corporate shows as well. So that's where the money was.
Salamat sa oras nyo. So anyway, let's check out another picture here. Kung ano yung mark dito. Okay, what is this?
Isa sa mga highlights nung audio engineering career ko, nung 90s, was this concert in Araneta. It featured the three hottest bands during that time.
Let me move.
The Beastie Boys, Sonic Youth, and Foo Fighters.
They were here?
Oh they were here, and Eraserheads was the front act for that show. And we had lunch with Sonic Youth. We were smoking backstage with the Foo Fighters. And the Beastie Boys, just hanging around backstage, pero medyo mahirap silang lapitan ng time. And then I heard yung mga kaibigan ko, they went bowling with them that night after the show. Pero yan yung sumasabog yung mga fuses ng Araneta dahil sa tunog, dahil sa lakas ng tunog, dahil sa lakas ng bass ng well, electrical consumption
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
ng sub requirements ng Beastie Boys. Sumasabog yung mga fuse ng Araneta.
I could imagine, yeah.
Oh, and then of course Jaime Taranta, 'di ba? Kasi kontrata niya yan eh.
So ano, sound check na ba to?
Sound check na yan.
Sound check na to. Oh, take note of the ticket prices, 600 pesos.
Oo.
300 and 100.
So walang makakaalis nun sa memory ko that we were smoking with Dave Grohl and di ba?
Well, what an experience, yeah.
And
Something to talk about. Ano?
Thurston Moore, di ba? Ng Sonic Youth. So, yun, yung mga ganun. So, masaya. Yung, that's one of the highlights.
I guess the highlight, I mean,
perks,
like, perks, yeah. Kasi perks na rin. Para bang, yun nga, you get to, really, itong mga foreign, I mean, when would be the next chance to even say hi to these guys, no? Parang,
wala.
Sana parang may picture ka. Wala ka naman.
Meron mga photos, pero film nga yung time na yan. Wala naman tayong cellphone camera no, digital camera. Meron ako mga photos noon. I even got my shirt signed by the whole Sonic Youth during lunchtime. And then si Dave Grohl and kalimutan ko yung gitarista, yung matangkad na anyway, they signed one of my shirts, which is siyempre lumipat-lipat na ako ng bahay. Wala, hindi ko na rin alam. And then ang perks, 'di ba, nung nag-uumpisa ako kasama sila Jeremy, nakakapasok ako ng high school dance. Nang libre. Nung nagtrabaho na ako as an audio engineer, nakakapasok ako ng foreign show ng libre. Diba?
Yeah.
So, kung walang pasok ng mga foreign shows, the likes of Santana, Metallica, Sting, gano'n.
Yeah.
At nasa backstage ka or nasa front of house ka, nakikigulo. So, yun yung perks ng
yeah, those were and we were lucky again to have been part being there. Thank you, Nikki, again. During the time of the Aden Recording Studios, di ba?
Si Pepe Castaño, which was the mentor to all.
Yes, we were handling the foreign concerts, most of them. If they only knew, during the show, sa sobrang pagod, nakahamok lang tayo sa ilalim ng stage, di ba?
Kung malas-malas ka, wala kang access na all access pass, doon ka nakahamok ka sa likod ng truck, diba? Ayan, 1990 Duran Duran.
Yeah, you've got, wow, yeah, I mean, Nicky has all the production passes pa yata, he collected those, diba? Crazy, no? Well, again, in your let's move check out pa tayo ng picture here. Oh yeah, okay. This would probably be if
we were pastors, that was our Bible.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, kasi yung Yamaha handbook, yung Yamaha book was so technical and so thick and so ay nako. But this one,
that was fun.
That was... Guys in the live sound, if you need a book, get this one. Kasi it's entertaining. While you're reading, entertaining siya.
And it will take you down to the very fundamentals of how to hook everything up and how to make it work. Yordi nga may scanned copy daw siya. Buti nga may scanner ka nung time na yan. Kami Xerox Tapos pinabind ko sa...
Si Paul Libid yata yung maraming kopya nito. Paul, tama ba ako? Para alam ko may mga kopya ka nito .
And that copy we had was signed by Dustin Fry, di ba?
Yeah. I mean, again, thank you for Nikki for having this book.
So, yan yung mga nahahanap namin sa bodega na pinapahiram ni Nikki sa amin.
Yeah.
Para mas naiintindihan namin yung mentorship niya.
This was, again, napaka-practical nung mga things dito sa loob nito. yun na nga, I mean, yeah, it kind of opens your mind, yun nga, parang, but at the end of the day, kailangan, we do our job, and it's not about doing it in a certain way, but being able to do it, para nga yung, for the benefit of the audience, hindi nila alam kung ano ginawa natin, basta importante na nagawa natin, di ba? The show went
Mm.
on. So yung Mark, when you were doing, uh, you know, especially going, like you as a guy with a band, di ba? You as a guy in a band, during that time, what's the most, I don't know, craziest or pinaka, kasi again, I think live sound, especially when you go out to Metro Manila, live sound, the concept of what speakers, what gamit na kailangan meron. Pucha, everyone was just catching up during that time kasi availability rin yung problema. So what was the craziest system you came across when you were, nung nagtutour ka with the band during that time?
Craziest system will always be, kasi maswerte kami, eraser heads yung sinasamahan ko. And we had the power to, our management had the power to demand to get a sound system from Manila kung Luzon. Pero kung hindi na makatawid ng dagat yung sound system ng truck, masyado nang mahal para sa producers, bahala na kung anong abutan namin sa Surigao, sa kung saan man, sa Agusan, or kung sa Abra. The worst sound system we had, well, I encountered was in the more on the outskirts of the Visayas and Mindanao area. Well, kasi wala walang sound system na matino, and that in the middle of the 90s, that sparked a business opportunity for Jeremy to put up a sound system based in Cagayan de Oro. Maswerte na nun. Pero even before that, yung mga outskirts talagang hindi niya rin ma-accommodate yung rentals. Now, I was dealing with yun nga, DJ mixers na may low and high na ikakabit nila, ila-line out nila yung amplifier papunta dun sa DJ mixer para lang may volume. Tapos bahala na, di ba? What I do, we were always trained to work with the given. That's what yun yung pasasalamat ko kay Nicky. Train with the given, and yung my background as a musician always taught me to project and make the audience understand what they're listening to. So, ginagawa ko, ang default ko nun, pag mga ganun na yung gamit, medyo alanganin talaga yung sound system, is make your vocalist sing. And yun lang yung lalabas mo sa house. Tapos, to the heart's content of every musician on stage, play as loud as you can, di ba? Parang rehearsal studio. Di ba? Ang rehearsal studio, boses lang naman pinapalabas sa PA system. Tapos
exactly.
Yung drums, bahala na sila mag-dynamics, yung banda, yung gitara, yung drums, yung bass, bahala na sila mag-dynamics on stage. Pero pagka ganun, ilalabas ko lang yung boses para naririnig lang din kung ano. Kasi yung boses yung hindi amplified. So, ganun yung training ko kung medyo masama yung sound system. That was always the plan B at that time. Hindi mo na rin naman.
Yeah, you're right.
Masisi.
I mean, so basically papalabasin mo lang yung let's say guitarista, like guitar amp. So, just, yun na yung house system mo. Yung drums acoustically or one mic, and but yung pinaka-importante yung vocal. Parang ganun yung basta yun na lang yung priority.
Yes. Pero yun nga, maswerte kami sa Mindanao. We had Jeremy there and his technical know-how of the sound system. So he put up a sound system in Cagayan de Oro, and then when we did, meron na kaming Nicky Cordero and Sonorous ng Mindanao version, which was we kung Mindanao yung concert at event, we call Jeremy in to contract the sound system. hanggang isipin mo nung mid-90s, nakarating kami ng Wau, Lanao del Sur, which was the only Christian settlement in the whole of ARMM.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Guguluhin mo
Wow.
sila ng rock and roll, di ba? Hindi, pero yun taga doon din naman sila Jeremy. So, everything was smooth. Pero ang layo na nun.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Tas ano, by land pa? Or
By land.
by land, di ba? Man,
Pero
that was great.
susuyurin na sinuyod namin our Mindanao tour with back then, Coca-Cola and Dunkin' Donuts. Yung mga sponsors. So, lahat, bawat bayan. So, naikot namin lahat yan hanggang dun na sa Lanao del Sur, del Norte, yan. Marawi, even before
it became, like in everyone's di ba, consciousness of Marawi, di ba?
Yan, nakarating kami dyan mid-90s, which was sa apat na checkpoint na dadaanan mo, 3 doon rebelde. Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty dangerous nga.
It was. Yeah. We lived a dangerous life, but had fun doing it.
Okay. Pero yun nga, at least yung gamit, basta tumunog. I mean,
basta tumunog.
And again, would you think yung mga fans, yung mga tao na goes to shows, were they more hungry for entertainment before than now, or pati naman yung pareho lang naman siguro, pareho lang yung level?
Parehas. Pero what I'm more fascinated about now, mas yung sa linya ng trabaho natin, the audio engineers now are more hungry for information, which is very ironic dahil dyan na nga yung internet. Depende na lang sa tao yun kung paano siya mag-research, paano niya i-put into application. Pero yung sa atin kasi, dito mo, sukbit natin yung libro na yun, yung Dump and Fry. Para pag hindi tayo naintindihan on the road, meron tayong reference kung paano gawin. Maswerte tayo na may gamit tayo on hand na para pag-eksperimentuhan. Pero ngayon, lahat nandyan na sa harap nyo. I mean, that's what I'd like to give out to the younger generation of technicians or engineers. I mean, lahat ng information andyan sa harapan nyo. It only takes kayo lang yung mag-set ng direction kung saan nyo gusto pumunta. Dahil mas ngayon, mas walang excuse, di ba? Yung gamit, pwede kang ang dami ng sound system na rin yun. Magaganda talaga yung gamit compared to yung what we had back then.
I mean, I take on this opportunity also, no, yung pagkakataon na to, kung pwede nga. Yung kasi I also get, a few days ago, I got a call na parang, yung parang meron silang mixer, analog mixer, and, they want to jump on digital. Pero yung tanong nga, parang nasagad yun na ba yun? Kasi 4 months pa lang daw yung analog mixer. Sabi ko, but, I think jumping to digital would automatically spoil you.
Wala.
Dahil pag na-spoil ka, you lose the yung gutom mo, yung parang yung need mo to find out, But on the flip side of that, because everything is on this digital mixer, you take it for granted naman. I mean, I've seen that. So para bang, these digital mixers aren't a magic wand. It doesn't guarantee you good sound. And if anything, it might even mas guguluhin pa lahat sa'yo because I mean, psychologically, and I know this kasi nung bata rin ako, ganun eh. Every time you get gear, parang, okay, nandyan yan, gamitin mo. Di ba? But, yun na nga yun eh. Sometimes, you fall into that situation that you want to use something simply because it's there, but you use it na hindi man in moderation. Yung, teka lang, gusto ko marinig yung nangyayari ito dahil nandito siya. Anyway, so, just like Mark, yun nga eh, para bang, Given technology is already here and is accessible, it's really up to each one to set time aside, not during a show. The show is where you actually do yung mga ano mo na, yung mga
Natutunan at
natutunan, practice mo
na-practice
na,
mo. Oh.
doon mo gagawin yun. Pero pag sa bodega, doon ka mag-explore. Diba?
Doon ka
mag-explore.
mag-explore at doon ka that's where you hone your craft.
Yeah.
Yun nga, pinapag-set up kami ni Nikki sa bodega ng small basic sound system para lang maituro niya about compressors, equalization, paano iwasan ng feedback. Doon mo pa-practicein eh.
Oo.
Paiiyakin mo yung speaker doon sa bodega, hindi sa stage.
I mean, don't do it during the show kasi syempre, mas pansinin ka nun. Do it in sa bodega para pag pumito, walang ibang papansin sa'yo. kayo lang, di ba? I mean, well, you know, there's which comes to also yun nga, sabi nga nung well, just to reinforce, since nandito na rin ba tayo sa topic na to, meron nga nagtanong, like, ano nga masasuggest mo, ano ma-advise mo dun sa mga bagong, you know, yung mga bagong guys na going into live sound, you know, be it a tech going with a band or a tech ng isang sound system.
Yun nga, be there 3-4 hours before the show. Kasi hindi ka naman papapasukin sa bodega niyan kung technician ka ng banda tapos biglang makikisuyo ka lang na mag-eksperimento ka. Araw-araw na may labas yung mga yan di ba? So be there early. Be there 3 or 4 hours before the show to ask the in-house technician of the sound system or of the venue how he wired up everything. That's how I got through my career. Maswerte nga ako. Meron akong na mentor like Nicky Cordero na pasensyoso. Nagagalit, pero wala. Talagang ganun. Kasama yun di ba? Buti nga, hindi ako pinagtitimpla ng kape, di ba? Hindi, kasi naranasan ko rin yun. Pinagtimpla ako ng kape sa studio naman. When I went into the studio, the recording industry, I had to do mentorship also with the studio guys.
Better na yun. You know, something related yung sa pinagtimpla ka ng kape, no? Pero yung and in your experience of going around and encountering sound systems, you know, especially during the late 90s or whatever, what was a constant peeve or a constant problem na parang yun na nga parang dapat ito inaayos na early on you know, it would kind of give current people an idea of baka nga sila rin. Yun na rin yung problema namin since then. Ngayon, yung pala, problema nyo rin pala yan dati pa, di ba? I mean, what do yung pagsa-set up ng sound system?
Hindi, lahat ng mula noon hanggang ngayon na problema nakikita ko pa rin, feedback. They still don't know how loud is loud enough that it's feeding back into the system already. Maswerte na nga sila ngayon, may mga in-ear monitors para ma-minimize yung feedback. Pero proper equalization and yung mga DSP nga ngayon, 'di ba? May mga, 'di ba, feedback cancellation, may mga ngayon. Pero I never learned how to use those.
Or may mga visual na nga ngayon na visual
I would still
I think you're right. You know,
on the sound. On the sound.
Yeah.
Kasi coming from a musician's point of view, parang pag nag-feedback sa first song, sira na yun sa buong gabi mo, buong set mo.
May ano yan, ano? Yung ikaw mismo, irita ka na.
Irita ako. Ako, bilang sound technician naman, sound engineer, for that particular, at nag-feedback sa akin yun, parang, bakit hindi ko ginawa yun before the show? Bakit ngayon lumalabas yan?
Ah,
May sound check naman kanina na tumugtog yung sound source ko.
ah.
So, yun yung ano. Otherwise kasi, yung mga kuryente and everything, that's beyond my control kasi it we were touring every facing and every electricity consumption and configuration iba-iba bawat lugar nung mga panahon na yon. Diba? Dumating nga sa point na sa Novaliches nga pagkagabi bumabagsak yung kuryente dahil ang daming factories sa kung anong production line dyan noon. So hindi ka makakapag-concert ng maayos sa Novaliches, North Caloocan area. Valenzuela, yan. Bumabagsak talaga.
If I may also take this opportunity. Kasi parang ano nga yung di ba dati tayo pag dadating tayo sa isang gig and sometimes pag Metro Manila naman, wag ka na pumunta, kunyari, labas naman sa Quezon City ka, ba't ka pupunta pa sa home base sa Makati? Parang bumalik ng Quezon City, di ba? Parang puntahan mo na yung gig, di ba? Like for the freelance engineers, or freelance na sumasama sa banda, diba? Para bang if you can, yun na nga yun, nabanggit ni Mark kanina, if you can, go there early. Kasi para bang, yun na nga yun, para bang you can, tandaan nyo, it's always your reputation na on the line. So para bang, hindi kayo pupunta doon, tapos sasabihin, parang titiwala kayo na parang, well-tuned yung monitors or, well-tuned yung drums and whatever, diba? Yung, kung pwede nga kayo pumunta doon, tapos make sure for yourselves. Kasi at the end of the day, I've seen this, I've heard this so many times, sa parang, tayo as engineers, sound guys, pag may nangyari, you try to push the issue away na parang hindi kasi kasama lang naman ng banda, yun naman yung sound system, hiwalay, di ba? Pero you could do that, wala namang problema yon, you could always do that, but I think in this day and age, there's more people that will see right through that and stay, hindi, ikaw pa rin yun eh. Alam mo yun? Ikaw pa rin yun, reputation mo pa rin yun. If you want to build your reputation mo at yung mga ibang banda, you've got to protect your reputation, meaning invest in it, go there early. Yung pagkakatiwalaan mo lang talaga ng sound ng tunog ng sound system, especially on the stage, would be yourself. Siguraduhin mo na pasada mo talaga yan. Kasi believe you me, very few people know how to it's one thing to cancel feedback, but it's another thing to maintain the sound quality of those monitors after canceling the feedback, notching those feedback. So yun yung kailangan yung practicein talaga. Kaya spend time in the bodega, or kung freelance man kayo, makipagbarkada kayo dun sa in-house ng isang sound system and just play around, di ba? Dala lang kayo ng barbecue at beer, just play around because feedback is it's a bitch talagang mangyayari yan, and kailangan mo lang galingan, talasan yung tenga mo dyan. I remember, Mark, di ba, Nikki would usually freak us out because pag nagka-cancel tayo na feedback, Nikki would go on stage and he'll be the guy to make to ring the monitors.
To make the system ring.
Sasabihin niya sa atin yung frequency, tayo talaga, ayop pa, galing ka. Oo nga, no? Parang, Nikki was that much of a nerd na alam niya yung tunog ng feedback. I mean, it is something na i-acquire mo, ipa-practice mo talaga yan. But, during that time,
may RTA sa ulo yan.
May RTA.
Alam niya kung anong frequencies and alam niya kung ilang notches down or up mo i-adjust. And isa lang din yung taong nakita kong gano'n na pinagmamalaki din ni Nikki na tinuruan namin nila si Monching
Payumo. Okay.
Nasa isa sa mga head ng ABS-CBN ngayon. Well, recently I heard he retired already. Pero yan yung mga legends in that field na canceling feedback, yung practice talaga to do it 2 to 3 hours before the sound check. was
Oo.
the discipline of the day. Kung ayaw mong magkaroon ng feedback sa concert mo, gawin mo yun. Gayahin mo si Monching.
Again, touring around the shows, ano naman yung parang the craziest thing that has happened to in a show na nandun ka? Even either as a band or as a guy
Ah,
doing front of us. What was that like? Oh, tangina, how
ah,
does this
ma,
happen in a show?
ma, marami,
Excuse
pero
me
yung
for
yung
cursing.
pinakaayaw ko is sons of politicians getting drunk and getting the mic on stage while your band is playing.
Oh, that
Yan yung mga
happens.
that happens.
Okay.
Isabela, that happens. It happened in Isabela in one of our shows. Kapatid yata o pinsan ng governor. Siyempre, wala kang magawa dun. Diba?
So tumutugtog yung
Ah,
banda, umakyat, ganun?
tumutugtog yung Eraserheads. Yung lasing na kamag-anak ng gobernador yata yun o whoever na kinuha yung mic at gusto mo umeksena. Ewan ko, kausapin si Eli o siyempre, kagulo, di ba? Yun yung pinakaayaw ko. Parang power trip to the purest, di ba? Parang,
Hmm.
it happens until now. Pero, siyempre, wala. Yun talaga yun eh.
Well,
So, yun. That's crazy. That's the stuff I don't like during shows. Nagpa-power trip yung mga, siyempre, yung mga may kapangyarihan din sa lugar.
oo.
Mahirap din kontra yun. Hindi ka naman taga dun eh. Di ba? Alis na lang tayo dito. Di ba?
Totoo. Ay, so,
Yung,
yung Mark, I mean, yeah, to the audience, no? Alam mo, yun nga, we've been talking to Mark Laccay about yung kanyang career as a musician and as a sound guy, di ba? Pero yun nga yun, I mean, just for me, parang grabe rin yung Mark has yung he has spread his wings beyond the usual, di ba? When he sees yung the love for sound, actually, not just music. So, yun nga, I mean, like, Mark is nakita niyo naman dun sa profile nga niya when I showed it. Mark is a multi-awarded sound designer. Di ba, Mark? I mean, this is just like, for me, parang, parang, I wanted to insert this also here kasi nga, it's for the guys that are into our business right now, doing sound. Diba? And yun nga parang sometimes we do have to have more marami tayong baraha, 'di ba? If it you know kung panahon ngayon this doesn't work, then we also have another direction. And I want to take Mark as an inspiration nga na parang, and this is like pretty much away from the usual, no? I mean, sa sound, it's still part of the circle, pero nandun nga, no? So, Mark is not just a winner of one or two, but quite a number from Cinemalaya, Cinema One, Gawad Urian, di ba? So, Mark, etong pag pag-move towards sound for film, how did this come about? Yung yung sa career mo?
ano ba? Well, there was an opportunity to contribute something that I really love and I really knew about, which was audio. Audio for film back then, well, everyone was going to digital. Pero syempre, visual. So your cameras, your new technology cameras were there, getting smaller. It was digital already, and uh, I've seen I've seen how they've done audio on film or on wala, analog pa rin, or yung nandun pa rin nakasaksak pa rin sa camera para yung mga mic, which is only 2 channels, yung ganun. What my advantage was coming into the film industries, I had my aces, I had lots of cards to put down on the table for the industry. Hindi ko naman inasam na magkaka-awards ako, ganyan, o pumunta ako sa pelikula para tulungan yung industriya, tulungan yung bigyan ng something new, to think about, something new to munch on. People were, I, I, I believe that I was one of the guys who introduced multiple track recording. My discipline in live and my discipline in the recording studio combined. I combined all the knowledge from that and brought it on location recording and audio post production. Uh, you ask the old guys in film, they were just doing mono or stereo on location recording. But I was bringing 4 tracks, 8 tracks, 6 tracks, and even the HD 24 track recorder for film. Uh,
Uh-huh.
they, yun yung main contribution to the industry of film. And uh, the first the first film that gave me recognition for that was Jim Rivera's Tribu, which was way back in anong taon na ba yun, Jim? Kalimutan ko na. Anyway, yun. That we brought out multiple
Multi-track.
track recorders. Oh,
This
multi-track
is a
recorders.
local production to. Local production.
Local production. Hindi. As in, hindi
Hindi.
ka natutulog, hindi ka pa nababayaran. Di ba? So,
Yung palakapyat
but
na.
the passion was there. The passion,
Yeah.
the the passion to contribute was there. The
Uh-huh.
passion to contribute to the improvement of the industry was there. Hindi ko naman inasam na mabayaran ako ng tama dun sa sa kinikita ko dun sa band scene, sa recording industry, sa live sound. Hindi mo makikita yun dun sa sa indie films, lalo na dun sa from the onset, kasi parang college project thesis, parang halos ganoon lang din yun eh. Pero 'di ba, yung ang tawag doon, the reward is andito sa puso. Kumbaga, napuno yung puso mo, nakita mo nasa big screen yung production, yung very crude production na nakipag-contribute ka. Yun lang yung fulfillment doon. Kumbaga, hindi mo naman inasam na mapuno yung bulsa mo eh, pero napuno yung puso mo sa output. And then it nagtuloy-tuloy naman. Isa kayo sa mga tumulong sa akin para ma-fulfill yung contribution natin dun sa film industry. You provided the tools. You were into equipment selling, you were importing equipment. You were bringing in the tools that we needed in the film industry. And di ba? You would attest to that. Your sales of My Pro MR90s shot up after that film.
Okay.
Kasi paumpisa na rin ang social media. No? Lagi nakukunan yung gamit ko. Lagi nakupost. So, yun na. Doon na nag-umpisa.
Yeah, I mean like Mark, ikaw rin isa sa mga I mean, I do from my point of view, syempre, di ba, lalo na when we were doing Alice's way back, when we were selling the Alice's HD24 to studios, dahil dun lang naman talaga namin yan tinitingnan, you actually purchased yours for other than for your Click multimedia, but your business was multi-track recording for film,
for live shows, for film.
Live shows at film, diba?
At doon nag-umpisa ang kasi ang mga kalaban namin, they were bringing 24 track reels into the picture. Into the live events. Kami tinataxi lang namin noon di ba?
Tama.
Gugulat sila, darating kami, asan yung recording equipment? Ito, dala-dala na namin. hard drive.
Hard drive,
IDE pa, babagal pa ng mga hard drive.
and then and now, whereas before, like recording was like itong separate function, itong separate service, di ba? Technologies ngayon, suddenly everything's in the console na. You do your FOH, you do your monitors, you do your multi-track recording, you do your streaming. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to dahil yung capabilities nga ng mga gamit ngayon. It's just way beyond kung ano man iniisip natin more than 10 years ago, di ba?
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy. Technology is just like, ewan ko, kaya ako, I learned to, ano nga, to kinda not try to think na ito na yun because,
Mm,
yun na nga whatever you encounter now, hindi pa ito to. Just give it time. Someone will think of a new way
to
to
do
do
so.
whatever, di ba?
Yeah.
So para bang yun nga, I mean, like, it's so interesting that your career, Mark, really spans like you're not just a musician. It's in live sound, it's in recording,
Yeah.
and it's in film,
Audio production, yeah.
sound for film. Uh, wow,
Which led
meron ka pa
to
bang ibang challenges na bahala ka na yun?
hindi ano,
Kita ka?
itong pagpipelikula naman garnered, 'di ba? It garnered recognition for me to work with 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 the greats like national artist for music, national artist for visuals.
Uh,
Sila na naman yung that we look up to in the music industry. Sila Dr. Santos, sila Dr. Maceda, and we archived their work and transformed it into digital. So ito yung ito yung one of the stuff we will be leaving behind to our children na
uh,
the Radio Veritas tapes which are registered all in the UNESCO Memories of the World. Na eh, yung buong mundo ang makikinabang. Yun naman
okay.
siguro legacy may iwan para sa buong mundo is the works of our masters and of our country. So, yun yung ano. Na
I mean, like halos
hindi ko naman inasahan na
parang
doon
parte.
pupunta, di ba? Biglang.
So these things just like one thing just led to another, and it just brought you to different places na and different fields, di ba? Anyway, wow, again, thank you very much everyone for just hanging around. Kita ko very active dito. I think some guys are even having their own conversations here. So ayos nga, no?
Yeah.
And thank you. So Mark, well anyway, yeah, yun na nga. Things have been great, and I've seen your career, but actually through this conversation na parang mas nakikita ko, damn, it's much bigger yung mga ginagawa mo. Kaya pala yung mga times na hindi ko alam kung ano ginagawa mo because you were doing a lot of other things. Okay. But so would you say, I mean, is there one thing more fun being, more fun na gagawin mo than others, or pretty much itong spread na to is something that will something that you'll do for still the next few years,
if 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 the opportunity arises, gagawin ko siya ulit. Like in my recent stints of life, di ba? Like, old friends ask me to fill in their shoes and do sound again. Oh, bakit hindi? I'd love to do them again. But of course, in a different situation. Hindi na rin tayo bumabata. But may mga needs na rin tayo, may mga requirements na rin tayo. There's no excuse to not do it kasi we've been there, we've done that. And also there's no excuse for me as a person not to commit the same mistakes that I've been committing the past decades, di ba? In audio. So yun naman.
Yun na, di ba? Oh, okay. Anyway, great conversation. Like, well, like we've been, wow, our conversations have been long, and I'm sure a lot of people na entertain. I hope everyone na enjoy nyo yung talk na to. But in closing, Mark, ano ba? Well, first, when was the last time you handled a band or something? You did live sound. When was the last time?
Ever pre-pandemic, 2018 yata.
Okay.
I handled River Maya for 6 months kasi yung in-house engineer nila, which is a foreigner, had to um, had to go back to his regular job on the cruise ship. So,
Mm.
si Andy Anderson.
Uh,
Uh, so, yun, pinag-uusapan ako na, maybe you can fill in my shoes for several months while I fulfill my tour of duty. So, sabi ko,
mm.
oo, bakit hindi? Diba?
So it was
And
fun
then,
naman. It was
oh,
a good
and
it
yeah,
was a
it was
good
a good
run.
run. Oh, tsaka kaibigan ko naman yung buong banda, di ba?
Yeah.
So, puro 90s yung usapan nung buong 6 months na yun. So,
Mm. And well, given the chance, like right now, if you were, like you were asked, who would be the three bands na you'd have fun, you would want to work with again, just to do their sound, simply because like it has always been good to handle yung music nila.
uh, of course, I'd go back to my roots, the Eraserheads. Kung magkaroon man ulit ng chance na magtutugtog sila ng honest to goodness uh, songs nila live,
Uh,
I'd still want to be there. I'd
mm.
still do it for them. Secondly, uh, the Radioactive Sago project. Because I was the one who produced their first album. I was the one who
Ah.
recorded that album, and then that was raw. That was raw jazz. I even managed them for a time. But
Uh-huh.
that was raw jazz. That was poetry. That was experimental music in its purest form. In that time, early
Mm.
2000s, 99 2000. Third artist that I want to work with. I want to go back to music production, which is my first love. So
Mhm.
I sino ba? I'd love to see Drip get back together again. Drip is a
Is
band.
that your brand?
Yeah,
Oh.
it used I I I used to do I managed them. I produced their albums. I did production work with them on their songs. We wrote them. We technically wrote them from scratch and everything. And it's
Mhm.
electronic pop music. But it was really fun producing Drip, uh, all their albums, all their experiments, and all their stuff. So, yun yung tatlong bands that span my liking and my taste in music.
Ah, okay. Well, anyway, well, thank you so
Yun.
much, Mark. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. And
you.
then I'd like to thank everybody who's sorry hindi namin nabasa lahat ng questions or nakapag-participate sa mga ano namin sa mga conversations. But I'd like to thank you, especially Mario, and
Always welcome, man.
yeah,
Always welcome.
all the other guys from way back, sila Alex, sila Nikki, Jeremy, and Jordi. Yan, the old guys that had the patience to teach us and mentor us. Uh,
Uh,
some guys have gone ahead, but yeah, we remember all of them.
okay. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone. And well, we surely definitely had fun tonight, learning more about guys like Mark. Itong live sound natin, which is like front of house is about that. Yung mga tayong mga guys that did the shows, kumakain ng matinding production meal. Hindi ko pala natanong sa iyo, pare, kung ano yung pinaka-ridiculous production meal na nakain mo. Actually,
Marami.
what's worse than wala?
Oh,
But yeah, again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for hanging around, and it was a great time. Thank you, Mark. So again, next week, it will be Mobile Mondays again. We'd have El Merdado. And again, thank you for hanging around. Hoping you join us next week for another show. And for everyone, good night and God bless.